you are going to run into entities that, for the most part, are evil because they are on the lower vibrational plane. The ones that are closest to us, they're running on negative fuel typically. We are closest to the lower vibrational entities. One of the worst things, and people don't understand this, the music that we listen to draws them in particular drum beats being lower vibration. You remember how bass became a really popular thing in all this music back in the 80s?
Hmm.
In the 80s and 90s, in particular the late 80s to the mid 90s, it was very popular and fashionable to ride around with a vehicle that didn't even have a back seat. It was just big old speakers were going.
Yeah. And it was only the bass that was amplified to that
That's
degree.
all it was. Do you know how many attachments you're drawing to yourself by doing that? Just take one of those speakers and play bass in your backyard and put it on the ground.
It's like a beacon.
And if you're stupid enough to do it, go do it. Okay, it's a beacon. You don't need a what's it called? The horn, the
shofar horn.
You don't need the shofar horn. That's a beacon too. The people, here's the thing: the people that talk about this and do this, they don't know why it works. They just know that it does. I'm going to tell you why it works, because these entities, they're following vibration. They follow the lower vibrational field. There is a vibrational field that's chest level to a lot of us, right? And then there's a higher level, then there's a more higher level, and it's a grid, right? And these UFOs, they move around, they do what they do. But these lower entities that are just below the surface, in particular, they feel those vibrations. You know, snakes and spiders, they don't hear like we do. They feel. If you don't want to get bit by a snake, step hard, walk hard. I'm serious. It'll make them move, because a lot of them, they don't want to encounter you. You're too big. They're not prey to them. You're too big.
Yeah, they feel the vibration and
so they
away.
Flee. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to learn anything here, this is it. You need to understand something. These vibrations and a lot of this music, this young people in particular, they love. My generation did it too. They love the bass and them drum beats. Bass, how low can you go? You know, there's a whole song, Death Row, What a Brother Knows. I can sing that whole song, Public Enemy. But there you go. The whole thing was about bass and getting rid of the treble. There's even a song with some girl. She sounds so annoying. Bass, no treble. Whatever. She sounds like she's got an IQ of 11. But it's just 11. It's 11.
It goes up to 11.
It goes up to 11. That's what makes us different. Spinal tap. It goes up to 11. But no, that's a joke. But it is true though. That bass that they glorify and they talk about it and they talk about it. They want that bass. That bass brings them to you. That bass that you just sit there and you play is going to get you an attachment. I'm not even joking. And then there are certain chords in treble that'll do certain things. So that's the key right there. You got to be careful. When you're talking about the low-level drum beats, that's what's going to bring something to you. So, yeah, and somebody just said principality of the air. There it is. So if you notice, though, our culture has been inundated with these frequencies that will absolutely hem you up. That's why it's important to get rid of a lot of this crap. You know, keep it out of your life. You don't want it. I had to get rid of some music that I liked back in the day. And I was like, I got to get rid of this. You know, I still like some stuff. You know, man, I still like old Run DMC and some of that old music. But you know, in moderation.
And I stopped listening to a lot of aggressive music.
Mm-hmm. Get you hyped up, but I mean, you got to be real careful with bass.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think drum beats? You go to different parts of the world, you know, with these more primitive people, and everything is a drum beat. It's a lower frequency, lower vibration, because it puts them in touch with their ancestors, their spirits. No, those are demons, dude. That's what they are.